Welcome and thank you for joining us on this video tutorial to learn how to apply to the Collier Scholars Common Application and navigate the secure online portal. This scholarship application is managed by the Community Foundation of Collier County, or CFCC. By completing one application, you may be considered for more than 70 scholarship opportunities. The application opened November 1 and will close February 14 at 11:59 p.m. The first step is to go to the scholarship portal, and there are 3 different ways to do so. The first is by going to the CFCC website. You can visit the Community Foundation's website and access the scholarship portal by clicking on the Scholarships tab at the top of the navigation panel and then selecting Apply for Scholarships. This will take you to the scholarship section of the website, where you can then scroll to the middle of the page and hover over the Start Your Collier Scholars Common Application button on the right side of the page, and then selecting Apply Now. This will direct you to the logon page. Another way is through Scholarship Connector, which is a one-stop shop search engine for scholarships available to students in Southwest Florida. Once you go on Scholarship Connector and find a scholarship that is managed by CFCC, you will be able to click on the link that says, "Please visit here" under Complete the CFCC Scholars Common Application. Again, this will direct you to the logon page. You may have also received the direct link to apply from a school counselor, local nonprofit organization, employer, or another resource sharing this opportunity in the community. If you have the URL available, please click on the link, and this will direct you to the logon page. The next step is to set up an account on the portal. The first time you access the portal, you will need to click on Create New Account. You will need to fill all required fields that are marked with an asterisk before continuing. Once you complete all the required fields, you can click on the blue Next button. This will ask you to then create a password and then to confirm it. Once you enter the password on both fields, you can click Create Account. Please remember to jot down your password and keep it somewhere safe. Once you create an account, you will be asked to confirm that you're receiving emails from the system. We recommend that you check your email and ensure you've received the message, and then indicate this by clicking I have received email and then continue. If you do not see an email on your inbox, check your spam or junk folder. If you still do not see it, click I have not received the email and send email again to have the system send the email request one more time. You can continue by selecting Continue without checking, but we do not recommend this. You will also need to make sure that you have entered information correctly so that CFCC can communicate with you at various points in the selection process. Once you complete this step, click Continue, which will take you to the Apply page. Please keep in mind to only create one profile for all activity on this portal. If you forget your password at any time, you can always click on Forgot Password on the logon page and reset it. If your contact information changes, you can update your profile on the portal by clicking on your name at the top right-hand corner and Edit My Profile. When you're ready to begin the application, on the dashboard, please look at the process titled Collier Scholars Common Application 2022 and click on the blue Apply button. Please read instructions, directions, and notes very carefully to ensure accurate eligibility for scholarships. Please keep in mind that late submissions will not be accepted and only correct and complete applications will be considered. This includes all required documentation, supplemental questions or essays, and any other information related to the application. The application uses branching logic to ask questions relevant to the applicant. For example, if you are currently a college student, you will not need to answer questions about high school. The application includes the following sections: an introduction section that will share all the information you need before starting, as well as all the required documentation and supplemental or optional documentation you may need. The next section is the applicant personal information. You'll be asked to answer questions about you as the applicant that will include background information, as well as employment information to determine if you're eligible for employer scholarships that we manage. If the system determines that you're eligible for an employer scholarship, you will need to provide your employment information. Otherwise, you'll be taken to the eligibility questions. Some of the questions are personal and sensitive. Again, we only ask these questions to verify eligibility. Sensitive questions are only visible to applicants and CFCC staff. If you do not wish to answer certain questions, you can select the prefer not to answer option, but just keep in mind that in doing so, you may prevent yourself from being considered for certain scholarships. The next section is general education information. You will answer a series of questions to determine the type of applicant you are, so it is important to read questions carefully and answer correctly. If the system determines you are a current high school student, you will be directed to answer questions in the high school information section. If the system determines that you are a current college student, you will be directed to answer questions under the current post-secondary section. If the system determines that you are an adult returning to school or a non-traditional student, you will be directed to answer questions about your intended plans in the future post-secondary information section. This section will also be shown if students are planning to continue their career path at a different institution or if they plan to transfer to a different school. This will also be provided to students in high school so that they can share information about the institution they plan to attend in the next academic year. The next section is extracurricular and activities and service. Please include all extracurriculars you have been involved in for the last 1 to 3 years, and also include any awards and recognition you have received in the last 1 to 3 years, whether it was in your place of employment, volunteering opportunities, or other activities you have participated in. Please remember that family obligations and work experience are considered extracurricular activities, so please make sure you include these if they apply to you. The next section will be on financial questions. You will be asked a series of questions regarding your dependency type for financial aid purposes to determine whose financial information you need to provide, your parent or your own. You will also be asked information about individuals in the household who may be pursuing education in the household, as well as contribution that yourself or parents or guardians might be able to make. The next section will be on applicant-parent employment questions to determine eligibility for employer scholarships we manage. If the system determines that you are eligible for scholarships through your parent or guardian place of employment, you will be asked to provide their contact information as well as their employment information. You will also be asked these questions if the system determines that you are a dependent for financial aid purposes. The next section will be on income and tax information. If the system determines that you are a dependent for financial aid purposes, you will be asked to provide your parent or guardian's most recent 1040 tax form from 2 years prior. For the 2022 application, you would use 2020 taxes. If the system determines that you are independent for financial aid purposes, you will be asked to provide your own most recent 1040 tax form from 2 years prior. The next section is on financial resources. You will be asked to provide information about your cost of attendance at your first choice school, as we understand that you may not yet know where you will be attending next year at the time that the application is due. You will also be asked to provide information about other financial aid resources you may be receiving, such as Pell, through FAFSA, or other private scholarships. The next section is letters of recommendation. You have two options to provide the letters of recommendation on the application. You can upload them yourself or send a request for a recommender to complete them on your behalf. If you select the self option, you will be provided the two upload files to include the letters. If you include the recommender option and select that option, you will be provided the email prompt and a space to provide the email of the recommender so that you can compose the email and send the request. If you select this option, you can submit the application even if the recommenders have not yet uploaded the letter on their behalf. However, it is the applicant's responsibility to ensure that recommenders submit applications by the deadline. The next section is the 3 general essay prompts you will need to answer. This is the time to highlight what sets you apart and makes you unique from other applicants. Essay number 1 is your personal statement. What are you passionate about? What are your academic and career goals? Why are you interested in a particular field, career, and attending a certain college or university or program? Essay number 2 is the person you are today. Describe a person, event, or activity that has shaped you into the person you are today. Explain why or how this has been significant to you and what lessons you have learned. Essay number 3 is community impact. How do you currently make a difference or plan to make a difference in the future in your community and beyond? How will your higher education and or career goals help you to improve your community specifically, society in general, and to become a better leader? We also include a special circumstances section. This is an opportunity for students to include any information related to extenuating circumstances that they feel the committees need to know and is not reflected anywhere else on the application. For example, taxes may show the family is doing relatively well from the last year. Since then, it could be that parents may have gotten sick, they may have had to take care of an elder parent, or they may have lost their jobs, which means that the current financial situation for the family may look very different from what the taxes show. Please do not copy and paste responses from other sections to highlight a point. This is strictly for any information about extenuating circumstances that committees should know. The last section is to acknowledge and sign. You will also be asked to date the application and to agree to the terms to confirm that the information you have provided is accurate. Please keep in mind that the application auto-saves every few seconds, so you do not need to complete the application in one sitting. You will know that it is saving when you click on a certain question and it blinks green. You can also scroll to the bottom and click on Save Application to come back to it at a later time. Some scholarships require supplemental information, essays, or questions. These questions will not show until you submit the general application and the system determines what opportunities you are eligible for. Supplemental questions need to be completed by the deadline in order to be considered for those opportunities. Once you are ready to submit and you have provided all information, you can click on the blue Submit Application button. Before you do so, please keep in mind the following. Transcripts must include fall semester final grades for high school and college students. Also, taxes must include both page 1 and 2 of the most recent 1040 taxes so that staff can confirm and verify the adjusted gross household income. The very first time that you submit, the system will show you the opportunities you are eligible for and any scholarships that you must answer supplemental questions for. If you click Submit and any information is missing, you will receive an alert at the bottom of the page and you will not be able to continue until you rectify this. Once you have answered the information that was missing or corrected outdated information or incorrect information, you can click the Submit application and that will take you to the next screen. The next screen will be the confirmation page, where again, you will be able to see the opportunities that you are eligible for, as well as any opportunities that you need to complete supplemental information for. Please keep in mind not to submit until all information and documentation is available. Otherwise, CFCC staff may revert the status of your application and ask you to correct information. Applications are not on a first-come, first-served basis, so submitting earlier will not provide applicants with any additional advantage. It is much more important for applicants to take their time, read questions carefully, answer them correctly, and take time to provide thoughtful and thorough essay responses. You can then click Continue, and the next screen will show you the supplemental questions that you need to answer. You can decide to start working on them right away, but if you cannot complete all of the questions or any part of the question all at the same time in one sitting, you can click on Save Application and come back to that at a later time. When you are ready to submit each individual question, you can click Submit Application. If you need to leave the portal at any time, you can click on your name and sign out. Or if you want to go back to the dashboard, you can click on the home icon. Once you're on the dashboard, which will also happen the next time you log on to the portal, you will be able to see the notes on the different sections of the application, as well as your dashboard of information for the current application. If you have applied in the past as well, you'll be able to see past applications under historical request and any current or active applications under active requests. Please make sure to double check the status of each individual opportunity. If they require a supplemental question and that has not been answered, you will be able to edit the application. Please click on that link and complete the outstanding question. If it reads View Application next to a particular opportunity, then you know that all information has been captured and there is nothing else that you need to do for that opportunity. Dashboard also serves for you to keep track of the status throughout the selection process. You will be able to see for every opportunity the decision and its status. You will also receive communication via email from the system to notify you of whether or not you have received the scholarship and any next steps. If you have any questions about the application, the process, or anything else related to the Collier Scholars Common application, please contact the CFCC staff and the scholarship team. The information is displayed on the screen. We look forward to receiving your application and wish you all the best on your academic and educational endeavors. Thank you so much for joining us.